I am here with Andy from Snow Camps Europe. I am Paul from Ski Instructor Academy. And today we're going to talk about another topic relating to your ski and snowboard experiences and holidays, etc. So today I thought, Andy, because we cover this from different aspects, but the most annoying thing for the holiday guest coming, or the skier coming, now that could relate to anything. So for example, you know, I'm saying like an annoying thing is when a guest gets a ski instructor that they think they have no respect for. Let's say he's too young, there's a language barrier, he's distracted, he's on his phone, something like that winds the guest up straight away about the instructor. And I think after, especially nowadays, I mean, I was shocked the other day because within Ski Instructor Academy, we don't really do sort of private lessons that much anymore. You know, it's normally camps or clinics, or it's Anverters, Landis, and, you know, whether it be Basie or whatever, coming in. But they're expensive now, private lessons. I mean, they're 300 odd euros, you know, for a day.
For one person, for 4 hours, 285, plus 25 for each additional person.
So for two people, 300 plus euros.
Yeah, 305.
So if you get an instructor that you just cannot respect for one of these reasons, then yeah, there's an instant clash. Like the ski instructor is late for the lesson. That would instantly wind me up. Before we even start, you've now got a guest who's thinking, not having this.
Especially if the ski instructor, let's say he's 15 minutes late and he still finishes on time.
Yeah, that would be, and that's where you get the clock watcher. I mean, you can usually see the guest is keeping an eye on the clock because, hey, for 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever it is, they're paying a lot of money and they want their values worth, not just from the time, but it should be 4 hours of undistracted time with the instructor. And that's the next problem in this day of communication. You know, the phones, I know one of the reasons I came off the hill and stopped teaching was my phone never stopped. And at times, because obviously I'm running the business, I had to take the call, or I was now distracted over the call that I hadn't taken because I'm thinking, I need to get onto that call as quick as I can on the next gondola or whatever it might be. So I realized I was selling people short because I couldn't switch my phone off, basically. And obviously a ski instructor needs to be able to be completely focused and not on that Tinder date later on that night. So that would be one of the top annoying things I would have said is phones, like ski instructors using phones. Andy, you come back.
Well, one that kind of came up over the weekend, and
Paul.
Paul Simpson. I actually I did a live on Friday and said to people, it looks like there's going to be delays coming into Salzburg, and more likely delays going out of Salzburg, because there were 70 flights coming in yesterday. Today is Sunday, so on Saturday there was 70 flights coming in, therefore 70 flights pretty much going out. And I said, it's going to be really busy at the airport, try not to get stressed, take it easy. Don't go through passport control until you have to at Salzburg, because at Salzburg, once you're through, there isn't enough seats for everybody, and the catering isn't as good as on the land side, where you've got a bakery, you've got a coffee shop, and there's a full-service restaurant upstairs. So I said, just try not to stress about it. You know it's going to happen. You're forewarned. And then yesterday, loads of people putting pictures on Facebook, videos. These are all of the people stood in departures in Salzburg. It's taken 2 hours to get our bags checked in. Yeah. And then one came through from Geneva and one came through from Chambray. Oh, all flights cancelled, or all flights diverted to Geneva after a 2 hour wait on the tarmac in Edinburgh. We've only just taken up. And I think this is something that really gets to people, is the airports on a Saturday in a ski season don't seem to be able to manage the capacity of the people, especially on the busy weeks. Now, if there's no weather issues, I can understand why people will get pissed. But if there's low-lying cloud, fog, frost, heavy snow, you cannot blame the tour operator or the pilot or the, what they called, the cabin crew. But people just go at them. Yeah. And go at them, and it's just, I understand it's annoying, and this is why we're talking about it, because it's a very annoying thing.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have I said about the transfer? I hate it. And I know some of ours who were coming in had reason to complain on the arrival because they were stuck at the airport for about 2 hours. And in fairness, they did have communication about it, because I was on Facebook saying, really apologise. And also, I took steps, because I know the taxi driver was trying to manipulate things, and this is what the taxi drivers do. They want to bring people all the way to Cap Run, hightail it back to the airport, get the next slot, and keep going yo-yoing back and forwards. Whereas I knew they were delayed, and I refused. I'm taxi driver. There was a group of them, and I said, no, you're not going back to the airport. I am now hiring a separate bunch to come in from Salzburg direct, so they're there in 10 minutes, and I sped things up as best as I can. But equally, people won't appreciate that or see that because they're so wound up. And the only way to get round that is avoid the Saturday. But unfortunately, as tour operators all come in on the Saturday, and you'd be surprised, because when Gary came here, our sales director, he arrived and he said the first time he'd gone through Innsbruck, and he said, God, that's a small airport. And I said, that's the problem, because they're small because they're not used 6 days of the week and probably most of summer.
And it's the thing, yeah, in the summer, Salzburg's busy days are, again, Saturday, predominantly in the morning, and Wednesday. The other days, there's very few flights go in and out of Salzburg. And then in the winter, other than Saturday, there's very few flights. I've got some people coming in today on a BA flight this afternoon, and I guarantee they'll be through. It'll be a ghost town, absolute ghost town.
Okay, well that's another one. Another one I would say, coming back to the piste, would be if you get an instructor that you don't know, you've never met him before, and suddenly you find out actually he doesn't speak the same lingo, and his second language, although you appreciate him trying, is just not capable of even closely getting any technical spiel to you, you know. And as a result, what tends to happen then is an instructor will fall back on another topic I do want to pick up on, ski instructor drills, because he can't really communicate very well with you. And I would say you've wasted your money. And I would say you should ask for your money back when that situation happens, because, you know, if you expect a ski instructor to be able to communicate with you, and I know the Germans are always quick to complain if they get an English speaker who can't speak German pretty well as well. They expect, you know, good quality. But I know a lot of Germans speak English, so they're quite friendly and usually go, let's just communicate in English. But some aren't. Some will insist on, you know, speaking German. And you get that with the Dutch, because the older generation from Holland, often their second language is German and not English. So you have a similar problem. So yeah, I would say not speaking the lingo can really frustrate a guest.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to something we've covered in previous podcasts, and maybe we'll put a link above. We talked about how to book your ski teacher, and not just to say, can I have a teacher for the day, or can I have this, can I have that? To be very specific, can I have an English-speaking ski teacher for my English-speaking wife, or whatever it be? And we've said, kind of try and pick your ski teacher rather than just getting given one off the list. Because if you get given one off the list, you're getting the next available person who's about to be given work, and that could be a Romanian whose second language is German,
and Russian,
you know, or Russian. Yeah.
So come on, Andy. What else we got?
What else?
What about hotels?
Hotels. We've talked about this before. The heat in hotels. The whacking up the central heating in the rooms is very annoying, and whenever we talk about this, people do always comment. So that's an annoying one. Then the other thing, I think, with a package holiday, but we've got to balance this out, is the dinner will be served at 7 p.m.
And it'll be served till 9 at least. 2.5 hours of grueling through the dinner. Like, you know.
And if you're not there on time, you're not getting fed. And if you come in late, we're going to look at you with distaste. But I think to balance it out, the reason package holidays are the price they are is because they are pretty standardized. Your standard flight, your standard transfer, your standard hotel room, your standard dining area within that for the package people. Because I know a lot of the hotels in Capron, if you're with Crystal, you have a separate dining area to if people have booked direct. Now, the difference is the people who've booked direct have paid €1,000 for that hotel for the week, where the people with Crystal have probably paid €1,000 for their flight, their transfer, and the hotel. So the people who paid 1,000 are in a different dining room because they're getting a different level of food, a different quality of food.
Right.
So, and they probably can walk in whenever they want and walk out whenever they want. But I think that is something that annoys people, is you have to have your dinner at this time. Be down at 7.
Yes. I think also misinformation sometimes, you know, where people can be missold something by, I don't know, doorstep, you know, in and out skiing, and actually to find out that's not quite the case. Or I've seen that quite a few times.
Yeah, it's funny. I went to Sheffield quite a few years on the bounce. I stayed up in the village in Sheffield. People who know it, the village on one side of the valley, and then you come down on the bus and you cross the road and then you find the first ski lift. And there's actually 2 hotels at the bottom of the mountain. And they were pitched in the brochure as ski in, ski out. Now, granted, you could ski to the hotel. Yeah. The ski out was literally the track to the lift. Yeah. Which ski in, ski out to me is, I ski in from a piste, I ski back out, and I go skiing. Yeah. Not a track down to the lift. But again, that's kind of brochure spiel. Spiel. It's a little bit like the Daxa in Zellamzee is pitched as in an elevated position above the lake. Was it up a fucking big hill?
Are you trying to make my life miserable with YouTube lately? Because that's the second time you've sworn. Now I have to change all my settings on YouTube. Most annoying thing. I mean, what about for you guys? I mean, what do you get most frustrated with? It might be about the ski instructor, the ski school, the actual skiing itself, the hotel. Because for you lot, it's the whole experience. You know, you've paid a lot of money and you expect it to go smoothly. Within reason, I think most people are reasonable and appreciate sometimes it's out of somebody's control. And I always say to people, you can only control what you can control. Otherwise, it is what it is. But let us know what you get most frustrated with. And we'll be interested to comment back.
See you now.
See you in the next one.